It is March 2nd, and I think I'm going to start working on the Nova because time this winter has flown by. I mentioned in an earlier episode last fall that this winter I was going to spend some time in detail underneath the hood of the Nova. As you can see, as far as I got is putting a rag on the fender. So, I think what I'm going to try and do today is I'm going to pull off the distributor cover. And I'm going to see if the distributor is out of sync. Trying to deal with some problems I had last year when I ran the car at the track. I wasn't even able to pull off a high 12. I think timing may be an issue. That's the only thing I really changed last year. Again, because we put the temperature sensor in. So that's the first thing we're going to check is the distributor and the timing, and we might have to reinstall the distributor. Before I have an accident. Okay. Okay. Now here's the moment of truth. Well, I think it is off a little. Cap looks good inside. So there's definitely no ignition issues. I guess there's a little wear at the more at the top. I didn't see that before, but other than that, the cap looks decent. But if number one is right here. Let's see if I got something I can. I think that's our trouble right there. I'll just use the good old-fashioned Canadian hockey stick, and I'm going to say one is right there. So I'm going to say it's probably out at least a tooth. The DualSync distributor is a smaller distributor, which makes it so much easier to work with these wrenches than the big old clunky HEI ones, because they have a lot bigger base. I don't know if it's out enough that it's causing a big issue that I can't compensate, but we're still going to pull it out and put it in properly. Oh, there we go. Whew. A couple of times when I've talked to you guys about resyncing the distributor, see there's a crank sensor LED and a cam. So those are the LEDs I got to make sure are properly synced when I reinstall the distributor to set the timing accordingly. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oh, that's even worse than it was before. Okay, so I'm going to have it set like that. So that means Okay, I think it was way out. No. No, that is not it. So I need more like that. Which means more like that. Sometimes you get lucky, get it in the first try. Some days it takes you 2 or 3 hours. Cylinder 1. Where's the spark plugs? Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say that's still the same spot as before. I mean, I should be able to compensate when I turn the base around for the crank and cam triggers. Because it either goes here, well, maybe that is still. Well, that's how we're going to leave it. Having a stud on the distributor bolt makes it so much easier installing the distributor and clamp than to have that bolt. There we go. So I finally got the distributor installed, and now it's pointing to 1. Got it partially tightened. Now I'll just connect these connector that I plugged the distributor in. Okay, it's plugged in. Now I gotta go underneath the car and disconnect the fuel pump because I don't want the fuel system to pressurize, because it's still going to be sitting about a month. So let's do that next. Looks like losing some of that weight is coming handy. I can actually fit under the car. Okay. Well, actually, it's the bottom one I want to disconnect. Huh, looks like we got a little bit of a sweat going on here around that one bolt, so we'll tweak that, but we'll do that after. Okay, so there's the fuel pump disconnected. Alright, now we can connect up the electrical, get the ignition turned on, and let's set the triggers in the distributor. So we got the distributor installed, pointing to 1. Going to go back now to the computer over here and watch the Holley Sniper install video. In particular, how to set up a DualSync distributor. And we'll go from there. So,
Holley's DualSync distributors
away,
were designed to work with the new Sniper EFI system. Sniper EFI has the ability to control ignition timing. I will need to turn the key to the run position and power up our Sniper and our DualSync. With the distributor cap removed, locate the crank sensor as well as the crank and cam LEDs. Note that LED on represents digital falling and LED off represents digital rising.
Okay, so we need to locate that. I'm going to have to put the camera down, climb in the engine bay, and get those lights on. Plus, probably should turn on the ignition.
With the distributor cap removed, locate the crank sensor as well as the crank and cam LEDs. Note that LED on represents digital falling and LED off represents digital rising. Slowly turn the housing clockwise until the crank LED just goes off. Now turn the housing counterclockwise until it just comes back on. You can go ahead and verify that the rotor is pointed in the direction that you want to designate as the number 1 cylinder. You'll also need to verify that the harmonic balancer is still at 50 degrees before top dead center. Make note of the rotor position as you install the new cap. Designate this as your number 1 cylinder. Starting with the number 1 terminal, slowly turn the housing clockwise until the crank LED just goes off. Now turn the housing counterclockwise until it just comes back on. For engines with a counterclockwise rotor rotation, you'll first need to turn the distributor housing until the black crank sensor lines up with your rotor. Now slowly turn the distributor housing counterclockwise until the crank LED goes off. Now you'll need to turn it back clockwise until the crank sensor just comes on. Go ahead and reinstall your distributor hold down and lightly tighten it. Once you've completed this step, you can go ahead and verify that the rotor is pointed in the direction that you want to designate as the number 1 cylinder. You'll also need to verify that the harmonic balancer is still at 50 degrees before top dead center. Make note of the rotor position as you install the new cap. Designate this as your number 1 cylinder. Install the rest of the plug wires according to your engine's firing order.
Okay.
Starting with the number 1 terminal, install the rest of the plug wires.
I'm pretty sure
according to your
that's the
engine's
step
firing order.
I messed up when I was installing this distributor. I think I may have put the distributor and set the crank trigger up for for a counterclockwise rotation instead of a clockwise rotation, which would really screw us out of timing. So I got that set up now. Let's do the next step. Like he says, put the cap on and plug wires. I might even fire it up today. Hey, Shelly.
How's it going?
Good. Oh, I truly messed this up when I put the distributor back in.
Like just now?
No,
Before?
before.
Oh, good.
From when we took the intake off last year.
Well, that's kind of good then, that you know that you did something wrong. Why, when you pulled it out, where was it?
It was more or less facing number 3, but what I didn't do is I didn't sync it up properly. Me and my friend Jeremy have been going over his video. And
Oh, like you didn't do the sequence properly?
I don't think I did the sequence properly, but I also think it wasn't in properly either.
So it was pointing to 3 instead
More to
of
3,
1.
yeah.
So it's more that way.
But it wouldn't really matter because when you're setting up the crank trigger and that, you're setting it up, you're designating that now as officially number 1. Well, there's two LEDs in here
Yeah,
for a crank trigger and cam trigger,
right.
and I did it for a counterclockwise rotation instead of a clockwise.
Oh, no.
So it was out at least a cylinder.
So are you doing the sequence now?
Oh, I just did it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. And then now we're putting the cap on. Yeah. So I was probably out a lot. I didn't have that little
Black piece.
the pickup piece in the right place. So instead of it being at 1, it was over here. Oh. I did it like the video, and I matched it up here thinking this was 1 when this was 1. Okay. So it was out. Yeah, probably like 2 teeth, like you said, at least.
I'm guessing.
But I didn't have that little
black piece.
The pickup piece in the right place. So instead of it being at 1, it was over here.
Oh.
And then also, I don't think we had it set down here properly because you have to have it set at 50, and I think we did it at 15. So there was
some things.
There's a few comical whoopsies. Okay, so 1, 3. This one, 7, and then 2. Okay. Okay, that was 1, 8, 4. Okay, 3. Okay, 6, 5, 7. Okay, no, those 2 are good, so we'll just clip those down. You know what? I can always run spark plug wires nice on one side, and then the other side it's like a bastardized. Okay, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8 is there. 4. 6. There we go. Global configs. We're going to download from ECU. Save as Nova. Okay, downloading, and done. Okay.
We should wire a switch into it tonight.
Well, I'm gonna put the switch in the dash.
Yeah, I know. We should wire a switch into it.
Actually, when we go to print this out, I'm probably gonna buy some switches.
Yeah. You don't have it?
Oh no, I gotta get 2 of the same, or 2 better kind. I don't want to use those crap plastic ones.
No, get the metal ones.
As Shelly's talking about there, I'm gonna put a safety switch on this fuel pump, like I did the Omega from inside the car, because right now it's just controlled by the sniper, and if I had to, I can't turn it off in an emergency.
The Omega.
Yeah, like the Omega, as Bide Lineman calls it, or whatever his name was.
Oldsmobile's compact offering of the Omega is pretty much of a rerun.
Ah! Fat fingers. Oh, where'd that washer go? Oh, here it is, under the tire.
Perfect.
Fuel pump is reconnected. Okay, good. Ow! Oh, that was my knee. Oh, right in the bumper. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, but that staple just tore my shirt. Man, I'm not having a good day. All right, so we got the distributor installed, properly synced. Thanks to Jeremy from Holly for his help. Unfortunately, Shelly's been a bit of a bummer today and killed our day. Doesn't want me to fire up the Nova.
Blame me. Way to go.
We could have had this thing all done, Shelly. I can't believe you would stop my progress like this.
It's minus 18 out right now. We have to have the garage open.
Well, the car will heat up the garage.
Not really. I mean, yes, but not, no. Minus 18 is hard to combat.
Oh, fire up the car.
I know. And then we would stink. That's a good stink.
That's a good stink, though. So, that's it for today.
Well, not
We'll continue.
it. We may do some other stuff.
Yeah, we're going to go Princess Auto and buy some.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for now.